How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Vic Hugo show. We got a cool guest today, host of the Rook on Screen YouTube channel, Mr. Jordan Rook Williams. How we doing, sir?
I can't complain. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, this first time I meet you, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. I made a post, and it was more about somebody come on here and let's talk politics. A lot of people that I wanted to, and look, I don't lean either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this election, I did lean red hard, and I have my reasons, you know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure you have your reasons to like who you like as well. So we're going to get into that. A lot has been going on since the election, and I want to jump on the biggest news going on this week. And let me start with, of course, Mr. Hunter Biden getting away with murder pretty much.
The biggest news.
Is there any possibility that the president would end up pardoning his son?
No, I've been very clear. The president's not going to pardon his
And one
son.
more.
It's still a no. It will be a no. It is a no. And I don't have anything else to add. Will he pardon his son? No. Look, the president, I could speak for the president, and he said he would not pardon his son. And I'm just going to leave it there.
He says it himself. It's in his voice. He said he came to this decision this weekend. And he said he wrestled with this. And because he believes in the justice system, but he also believes that the war politics infected the process and led to a miscarriage of justice.
So obviously crazy, right? I mean, that this would even happen as we're in a situation. And don't get me wrong, I have kids. And if the opportunity is given, I put myself in that situation, and I probably would pardon my son too. The thing I have with this is that they shitted on Trump so much
Rightfully
for breaking
so.
the law, for doing all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And then here they go and they do something like that. So what is your stand on this? And just opinion wise, what do you think?
My stance is honestly that I don't think I'm going to entertain talking about Biden's pardoning at all unless we can talk about Roger Stone a little bit first. Is that cool with you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, so can I just know your opinion on Roger Stone and Trump pardoning him and stuff first before we get into Hunter?
Okay, give me a second, just because to be honest with you, I don't know the full story of it.
Yeah.
So actually, if you
it's a deep
can
one.
if you could educate the audience on it, that'd be great, bro.
Yeah, so Roger Stone was on Trump's team, and he was charged and convicted with lying to Congress I believe under oath or just in a report, witness tampering and obstruction of justice. And all of this was because he was explicitly lying, and that's not even deep state saying it. This is out in court filings. This is public information said under oath that he was lying to, I believe it was the Ukrainian government. I might be getting a little mixed up with the other research there, but basically lying, saying that they needed things on Hillary. That was kind of their whole thing, was that whole Hillary collusion, that whole deal. That's what he ended up getting charged, convicted, and sent to jail for. Trump pardoned him. I would argue that his crimes are probably way worse than smoking some crack and having a gun and not using it. We could go into more, but yeah.
Gotcha. No, yeah, and look, it's the president has that power, right? And like I said, it's a little different just because it is his son. To me,
Why?
my stance. Well, it makes it look even more shady. You know what I mean? It's not even because okay. So let's go back to the whole Ukraine thing. Okay, so the war started with it, right?
With
So Hunter Biden
What's
had been doing business with Ukraine. Like there's calls, there's recordings of Biden actually talk. I think who did he tell? One of the Ukraine. He told somebody like, you fire that attorney or else you're not gonna get the funding for this.
Yeah,
So
because they've been trying to fight corruption. Ukraine has been trying to fight. They've been pretty corrupt since the Soviet wall fell, and the U.S. has been trying to push for the Ukrainians to clean up their country, reduce the corruption. Biden publicly said on a press release that, yeah, he did tell them, hey, you need to clean this up. You need to fire this guy. You need to figure this out. Otherwise, you're not going to get the money. Why would he publicly brag about being corrupt? If that's
Well,
the case?
and that goes back to like, okay, every president, bro, every president, well, not every, right? Like in the last maybe 5 presidents, they go in valued at a certain amount of money. They come out with double the amount of money. So there's some sort of corruption there. You know what I mean? So that goes to Obama, that goes to Bush, that goes to, and I think Obama was the worst out of all of them. That goes to Biden, except Trump.
It's probably beaten by Elon Musk making the most out of the 2024 election, but you know,
well, yeah,
$70 billion on paper. We don't even know how much Doge he has. We'll get into that.
No, yeah, I totally agree with that. And I mean, Elon Musk did win big. You know, I think he's on pace to be the first trillionaire. You know what I mean? But when it comes to situations like that, it's okay. Yes, Elon Musk has the money. He was given the money to do a certain amount or to do this, and that. Do you agree, or do you see to where would you rather? And I guess not. Would you rather him have the money, but all the money that's being sent to Ukraine after we know that Ukraine is fucking corrupt, country.
What do you mean all the money that we sent to Ukraine?
Yeah, like during the war and stuff like that, all the funding that we send for the war.
The money or the equipment?
Well,
the money went to humanitarian stuff, keeping people alive, feeding people, things like that, right? And the money wasn't even that much.
But okay, equipment, however you want to put it, right? The value of it. Me knowing, like, if I have a cousin and I know he's a deadbeat, whatever, and I keep giving him stuff, you know what I mean? Where we can kind of pinpoint where that money's gonna go, how it's being spent, stuff like that.
Yeah, but if your cousin has a guy that wants to kill him, don't you think you'd help him get a gun?
But okay, so then how did it all start? How did it all start? I'm sorry.
It started in 2014 when Russia tried to invade Ukraine for the first time.
Okay, but it didn't happen.
It did.
Okay,
they did. They attacked.
But when did the war actually start?
2014.
That was the first attack. The Russian attacked Ukraine. All right, let me get the dates correct here because there could have been an attack, but I mean, war actually didn't happen until like 2022, 2021.
No. Oh. Yo, that's like 2022, 2022 popped off as a continuation because they weren't able to achieve what they wanted in 2014.
Mm-hmm. And do you think that the president in 10 played a big role on that? Because I mean, it didn't really pop off till a few years ago. And that's during the Biden presidency, which makes it shady just because of the whole Hunter thing, like they were doing business in Ukraine, the Biden family themselves. And all of a sudden he becomes in office and, here we go. Ukraine standing up for themselves, which I have nothing against. America, we should help countries that are, but it's a situation to where like if like we live in the border, right? Mexico, if China was to set up camp in Mexico, of course we're going to get defensive, dude. They made the treaty. The United Nations could not pass, what was the country? I'm drawing blank.
You're talking about not a step further east, that whole line?
Yeah, yes, uh-huh.
So that's all been wiped. That's all been done. That was so long ago. And that was in regards to, I lost the exact spot. That's not exactly as important, I would say, as our maybe Budapest Memorandum. You aware of that one?
Oh, not 100%. Not enough for me to actually articulate.
Yeah, I can fill it in. No problem.
Ahead.
So the Budapest Memorandum was a bunch of Soviet countries when the wall fell, when the Soviet Union fell. They had their nukes stationed in not just Russia. It was a few other countries, and Ukraine was one of them. And the Budapest Memorandum was, I think it was either just the US or maybe NATO, if NATO was a thing. Essentially it was a promise by all the other countries that, hey, if you give up your nukes because we don't want a possibly failed state, Ukraine has been a state for 80 years tops. We don't want a failed state having nukes. So we were like, hey, give us all your nukes, give them up, and we will make sure that nobody ever invades you. You will have your land. These are your borders in 1990, and nobody will invade them. We signed that as Americans, as America, for the global peace of the world, for global peace, our trade routes, for all of everything that America does with its military and the spending. That is to keep everything cheap. That's to keep everything safe. And I think we need to uphold that morally at this point.
Yeah, but then we flipped it on them.
How so?
We were supposed to protect. Oh my God, it's all coming back to me. Give me a second.
Yeah.
But I know we backed out of it. Like we didn't protect them. So okay, I mean we can sit here and talk policy. We can sit here and talk this happened, this happened. Overall, what do you the whole reason the whole thing of the video was the pardon,
Yeah.
right? Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? Should he have done it? Should he have not done it?
I think that pardons are an extremely important check and balance against the judicial system by the executive, and I think that probably Biden should have done it. It's pretty clear that Trump and his new team are probably going to be going after people. Well, we know this, actually. They've said it time and time again. He kind of got caught on I'm going to be honest, let's be honest, it's kind of a bullshit charge. BS charge. I don't know if you want that on your channel. I'm sorry.
That's cool. It's cool, bro.
Okay. Lying on a form when he was purchasing a gun, that question 18 on that federal form is pretty much, if you've smoked pot, you can't say, or you can't mark that properly. I do think that this was probably a political thing, because I don't think if his last name was, I think only if his last name is Biden or Clinton, he would have been charged with this. That's it. So is it probably okay? I think the pardon probably has some purpose to it and some reasoning. Do I think this was a good use of it? Most likely not, but there's been such egregious uses of the pardon power that it's just actually insane that I don't think we should care about this at this point. There's so many more insane pardons that we could talk about than a guy who did nothing involved with our government. You say that he was a part of these Ukraine dealings. I don't think there's any real evidence to that, but that's what we got right now.
Well, I mean, the way I see it is he was pardoned for something. So he did do something.
Because to be pardoned, you have to be convicted.
Yeah, exactly. So there was something. To pinpoint what it was, I wouldn't be able to. In my perspective, I think any loving parent would have done it. Yeah. To me, it just doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And it's more of a, like.
Why doesn't it look good?
Well, because he did do something. You know what I mean? And whatever it was, it's like, it's okay that you're pretty much saying it's okay that he did it, but we spent the last 4 years going after somebody that Russiagate. We spent 4 years.
Very good to do. That was important to do.
Russiagate
was huge. It was good.
But it came out to be all BS.
No,
you know what I mean?
No. What? You think Russiagate was BS?
It has to be, or else he'd be in jail.
No. Okay, just because they didn't find a direct connection between Trump and Russia, they did find that there was Russian interference in our election. They did confirm that. Did you hear about like Tenet Media and all that, Tim Pool?
Well, there is, okay.
That's from that, right? That's from that Mueller report. And that's why Tenet Media got bopped.
Yeah, but it doesn't. It's not necessarily linked to Trump, though.
That's fine. His team was convicted. Okay, so what about Roger Stone, or what was the other guy's name? There's so many. He had a bunch of people trying to actually get charged with things and trying to interfere in. Oh, I didn't write the other names down. Roger Stone should be big enough. We could talk about Kodak Black too if you want to talk about the gun stuff. Like, it's crazy. 279 pardons, and we want to talk about Hunter Biden's cock and, like, all of this in Burisma and Ukraine when, like, what has he actually done in... Sorry, it's just been so much arguing about his wiener. It's crazy.
No, it is crazy, bro. And, I mean, just the fact that you turn on the TV and that's all you see. You turn on social media and that's all you see. So, I mean, it is news, right? But I guess we could make the transition to media, okay? Because... Yeah. Obviously, media played a huge role in this election, whether it was your old school CNN, MSNBC stuff, and you saw the rise of the internet media. Okay, so let me just play this video and let me get your thoughts on this, okay?
over 70. People don't realize we used to have 50 giant media companies in America. And then Bill Clinton passed the Telecommunications Act, which took us down to 6, which is why journalism sucked so hard in America, is because they all work for the same people.
They were competing for the licenses. It was insane. By the way, that's a very big point he just made right there about the whole. We went from 50 to a handful, and that hurt a lot of people because he didn't have more voices. And until this format came out, where a guy like him or Rogan or us, we can go out there and talk and say what we're saying. We're like, wait a minute, what are these guys for? These guys, that kind of makes sense. Let me Google this. Let me research this.
But then you see the narrative is we're alt-right, we're mental, we're radical. I don't know if they say that about you, but they say that about me, that I'm an alt-right conspiracy theorist because I was right about Russiagate, I was right about Syria, I'm right about COVID. And so that's what they have narrative control.
So let me get your take on just media itself. Where do you see it going? Do you see the internet media taking over? Do you think people will gain trust again in the media we see on TV?
Not in the next 4 years, that's for damn sure. I think Trump is probably he said the media is his number one enemy. I don't know who else has said that quote, but it's just kind of crazy. His FBI director tap wants to go after journalists. I don't know anything about Bill Clinton changing the rules of telecommunications. That's a little bit before my time. But I do think that we're seeing a true shift towards alternative media. I think a lot of Americans, whether we like it or not, don't trust what's on their actual television, and they're trusting what's coming through their iPhone or their computer screen 10 times more. It's insane the amount of just misinformation that both like actual mainstream news sources and alternative media sources are able to just put out there. It's just constant flows of just the wrong stuff, so much that you can't even sift through it. I have to spend like hours trying to debunk these things that somebody can just lie and make up. So I think there will be no trust in the media unless Americans probably educate themselves a bit better and try and find like how can they find out what doesn't make sense right out of the gate, or what, is this actual information, or does it just make me feel good? I think everybody wants to just feel good. That's really what it comes down to. And it's soft, but it's where we're at.
I totally agree with that in a sense of, yeah, I mean, people just want something to believe it, right? That's the ultimate quote, right? And there's a lot of misinformation, whether it's coming from the internet, whether it's coming from TV, whether it's coming from it. There's just so much information coming at you that you don't know what the hell to believe now. So, I mean, for me, like we talk, I know I don't know everything about history, I don't know every little piece, every little detail. For me, it's more of a gut thing. You know what I mean? And I've always been, if there's a badass Democratic candidate, dude, I would jump on it. You know what I mean? I don't lean either way. For me, it was just, I didn't trust Kamala, dude. I didn't. I couldn't. I just couldn't.
Trump.
I was.
You trust the con man?
I trust him a little more than her. And let me tell you why. It just goes based on the last run that he had. When he was president.
Or he didn't do anything that he said he did.
It wasn't perfect. Of course it never is, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't horrible. I can only see I can only reflect it through my eyes, right? Through what I was experiencing. So to me, it didn't affect me, man. It really didn't. But this last 4 years did affect me. And I saw it hit my wallet. I saw it hit everything, So I don't know if he's the answer. We don't know. We're about to find out. But going back to the media, it's hard, man. It's hard. But this is good, because it opens the floodgates to people like us just sitting down and having a conversation to where maybe we're not 100% accurate, but we can kind of come to an agreement to where like, hey, we both want the country to do good. Yeah. And, and let's figure it out, whether it's us, other people. Go ahead.
Let me stop you right there. Yeah. Because you say we both want the country to do good. And I 100% believe that for the both of us. But I just genuinely don't think that Trump feels the same way. I think he wants him and his buddies to do good, not the American people. He puts up that front, that image, that master marketer. He puts up that image of America versus the American people. But I truly, if you look at his actions and his policies, what has actually been for America?
Gotcha.
Like that he's done his actual stuff.
and, and I guess it's what's important, right? Like, because I find, like, let's say the top three things that are important to me, right, is I would say the economy,
Okay.
keep us safe, right? We don't want to be at war, and I don't know. I would just say probably immigration. We don't want to be. Dude, I'm lucky enough to have a job to where I can travel the U.S. And I was in Portland maybe like 2 weeks ago. Heavy Democratic city, very liberal, very. Dude, it's a beautiful city, but its homelessness problem is horrible, man. Like horrible. You go to LA, you go to these, and then you start to see I started to see the trend of
What's a
of
Republican city?
well, no, I
Do we
don't
have
mean
one?
like, well, I would say
Did you say it's a Democrat
but
city with a bunch of homeless? I mean, aren't they all?
what I mean by that is they vote that way. If you
As
look
all the
at
cities
Portland,
do.
it's mainly a blue city, right? That's what I mean by
Yeah.
that. Because I mean, El Paso's a blue city, and you don't
Yeah.
see like homelessness like that. You know what I mean?
Well,
But
because
what I'm saying is,
you do. It's not like that because they kind of die in the summer if they to an extent, or they decide like this
yeah,
is so uncomfortable I'm gonna leave. Maybe not die. That's a bit far, but like they
yeah.
kind of do show up in the places where hey, L.A. I can live here year round outside and the weather is always perfect. It's probably a
hmm
good spot to land. You know?
Yeah, but that's to me, and I'm not saying that it's like their fault. You know what I mean? It's a trend that I've been seeing, man, and I don't want to go as far to say that it's the Democratic Party. I don't want to go that far, but it is mainly those cities that I've seen that problem escalated. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just population. Maybe it could be a million other things, of course, right? I'm just stating an
Yeah.
observation that I made,
Yeah, and I'm not
you know?
denying it exists. I've seen the same thing. I'm not. We do have a homeless problem. We have to figure it out. I'd argue it's more of like maybe a mental health problem. I've had many conversations with homeless people, mostly in Atlanta, and
Mhm.
probably a mental health thing. But you said
Yeah, I think
that
so too.
yeah, your reasonings for preferring Trump was the economy, safety, and immigration. And I know that
Yeah.
this is a bit past, this maybe would have been if we talked when we first chatted, but I'd say that Trump kind of sucks on all three. I don't think he's done good things for the economy. I don't think he's done anything good for immigration. And in terms of safety in the country, I mean, didn't he want to open fire on Black Lives Matter protesters? He deficit spent more than any other president ever. And he shut down the bipartisan border bill, like three things right out the boom, boom, boom. I don't think he actually does those things. And I
All
totally
right,
get why you
so
think he would because he like plays that front, but what did he do?
okay, go. We'll attack border safety first. So I'm gonna play a video, and this is gonna be the new and assigned border star. He was actually there when the first term that Trump
Can
was
we
there.
talk about that
Okay.
real quick? Because wait, before you play the video, border
Yeah.
czar? Are we serious? We're pulling terms from Russia now?
Well, that's just the political term, right? I mean,
Political
you
term?
can.
Who do you think told him to use that term?
I don't. To be honest with you, I don't know. I heard
Probably his
it in
buddy.
in every news outlet,
Yes, you have.
CNN. Yeah. So I mean, but you see CNN, MSNBC. That's mainly liberal news media. So if they're saying it. But look, at the end of the day, they're all the same fucking shit. I think we can agree with that, right? That they're all because you say like Trump just wants to be him and his buddies. What do you think? It's the same thing with Biden, dude. Same thing with the Clintons. Same thing with Obama. That's why they all come out richer than when they go in.
Each of them have a track record of actually passing, even if they did get more wealth during their term, all of them passed things that actually helped the American people. And I'm not even saying Bush also did too. I'll say it. He actually did some decent things. I was too little. I didn't really understand most of it, but I look back and read some things. He did some okay stuff. Trump, I don't know what he actually did to help the American people, like at all. All of his stuff, the Trump tax cuts, deficit spending, just making our debt worse because that's not a problem. Like
Okay,
the
so Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I was trailing off. It's all good. You had a video going, so we could jump to that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let me play it, and then we'll get into that.
Cool.
Give me a sec.
After 34 years, I became the first director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement twice that actually came up the rank. I've worked with 6 presidents, starting with Ronald Reagan. Every president I worked for said they're going to secure the border. President Trump actually did it.
Wait, pause that. How?
He created the most secure border in our history, and that's a stone cold fact. The data proves it, and guess what? He's going to do it again. Under President Trump, we cut illegal immigration by 90%, the lowest level in 45 years. Deportation rose to the highest level ever, including historic numbers of illegal alien gang members and criminals. Most importantly, 4 years under President Trump, we had 13 people we arrested on terrorist watch list. Joe Biden, 381. And let's remember, we got over 2 million known gotaways. How many of them came from a country that sponsored terrorism?
All right, so I'm gonna cut it there. Look, I don't know the exact numbers, right? But
They're wrong.
here's a difference. Here's a difference, and this is a huge difference to me. And I like this the way they did it more than what Biden did, right? So with Biden, it was open borders. Anybody come in, you're good. With Trump, it was like, okay, you can come in, asylees can come in, they can claim anything, but they would have to wait in Mexico until their paperwork went through and everything.
What was Mexico's opinion on that?
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's not about Mexico. It's about
If we're gonna
what's
put them
better.
there, then yeah. If we're gonna hold people there, then yeah, I'd say
What's
it is.
good?
I'd say they're involved in the conversation, just like they were with the border wall. Which didn't that only get pretty much it's all? Did El Paso have it before, or is ours Trump's wall, or is that one from before? But like,
Well, I
Yeah.
would say because the caravan came in from South American countries. So if Mexico allowed them to come through, then I would say they're okay with it. Because they're the ones that allow. You got to go through
caravan's
Mexico
not
to
the
get to the
problem
U.S.
with our border, though. What do you?
Well, not anymore. Because what
It
happened when
wasn't even
Trump
in the
got
first
elected?
place. That was just kind of a news story. What happened when Trump got elected?
The caravan turned back around. So there's videos back in early 2020, 2021
Posted by
when
Q,
the
who was
no, I'm sorry, not 2021. 2019, when the caravans. I don't know the exact date.
Yeah, you're good. You're good. We're in this. Well, there was 2 caravans that they pushed through the news cycle, but yeah. Either way, those caravans were more show and the marketing, the same stuff that I'm talking about. So what did Trump actually do, to quote? What did the guy say? He said immigration by 90%, cut immigration or illegal immigration by 90%. What did he
By
do?
80. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know the exact process of it, but what I
He
know
didn't
what
do
the
anything.
process.
That's what we had COVID. So it was the COVID lockdowns and restrictions. We shut down the border. It wasn't actually anything. He didn't shut it down. It was just we couldn't.
The policy itself, though, of having to wait in Mexico for it to go through, bro, that's already huge. Because look, what happens is it has to, because if I come in, right, if I come in to the United States, I'm gone, bro. There's no way you can find me. I'm here to stay.
Yeah, which is a problem with our asylum process, which Republicans did want to fix that. Respect to them for that. You know who didn't?
Who?
Trump. He called them. Langford wrote a bill, a Republican congressman or senator wrote a bill, got the Democrats on board, got other Republicans on board, and then they got a call from Trump that you can't pass this bill. I need the border for the election, for my campaign. That's what he ran on, is calling Kamala Harris the border czar. So he actually shot down that bill so that he could run on it, so that this guy could record this video and make this speech saying that they cleaned it up, when he only cleaned it up through COVID. And, it's all marketing.
Was Trump president at the time?
At the time of COVID?
No,
Yeah.
the time where that bill was passed. Or
Which
were they presented the bill,
which one?
the one you just mentioned, the
No, he
where
was not. He was making calls, yeah,
yeah,
to
so that's
Republican
what I'm
senators
saying.
because they're all in lockstep with him.
So that okay, but that's exactly what I'm saying. This guy's not president. Yet these guys were over here trying to pass a bill, and he still has the power to tell him not to.
Yeah,
Like that doesn't sound too right to me. You know what I
it
mean?
doesn't. It's a little culty, I would say.
Yeah, man. Look, at the end of the day, to me, right? Like I said, it goes back to what I saw, what I saw
Yeah.
during the Trump presidency. We didn't have all these chases going on in El Paso, all these crashes, all these stash houses full of illegal immigrants that they would find, all these people getting
Are
robbed.
we having them now
Uh,
anymore? I don't think the crime stats in El Paso have gone up like that, have they?
yeah, bro, it's been horrible. The last 2 years. Check the stats on the last 2 years, and you see it on social media, bro.
You
It's
can't take social media for anything. You know
no,
that that's
no, no.
engagement farming. You're going to get shown every negative thing that happens on social media.
Yeah, of course, but you do see it though. Something that I never saw before here in El Paso or in El Paso. So, I mean,
Our crime index has actually gotten better since 2021.
no, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about illegal
Nice.
immigration.
Well, you're talking about the criminals coming in through the illegal immigration, right? Because
Yeah, yeah,
that was
but
the point of the guy's
so,
video.
but the thing is, like, if you're chasing illegal immigrants, right, throughout the city, and you see it a lot. You see it a lot. Something that we didn't used to
And chasing
see. Whether,
citizen criminals as well, which is like,
yeah, which is the
you
people that are
know,
stashing them, crossing them, whatever. But that's what I'm saying, though. That's a problem that we didn't have before.
we did. We
I'm
absolutely
pretty
did.
sure. I'm pretty sure we did, but not as much as we do now. Not
No,
even
you're
close.
seeing it more now because the media empire, the same media that we just talked about in the last segment, they want you to see that more often. That's what's going on. It is
But
engagement farming, it's bot farms, it's the IRA, it's actual Russian interference in our internet. All of these things are happening, and they want you to see these things more often. We look at the actual data. No, the crime stats are going down. El Paso's getting it together, it looks like.
you're comparing it to what? From what's the timeline you're comparing it to?
Over this was since 2018 was the thing that I just closed, but they went. It looks like they went up a little bit before COVID, down definitely on COVID, and then up a little bit after, and then back down again. Which I mean, it's just a big wave through it. None of it lines up with the Trump presidency. None of it lined up with that. So I mean,
But
yeah,
okay,
sure, we can say the
I,
border is an issue, but like, do you agree that the main problem with the border is it the asylum process, or is it actual border contacts and illegal crossings through coyotes and sneaking through or over the water in the Gulf or things like that? What do you?
okay. Oh, that one's tough because I think it's a combination. You know what I mean? I think
It
it's a
is.
combination. To pinpoint it to one thing it was super difficult. Um, it, and it starts with the other countries, right? The other countries are fucked up, so people are gonna want to come over here, and it's a shitty thing, man. It's a shitty thing because I feel horrible in a way of like, nah, don't let them in. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But when you start giving them free money, we're talking about homelessness. Most of the homelessness that's going on is veterans. It's just people with no way out, addicts, that can't get help, mental health people. So for me, it's like, okay, that money should be used to help these people, whether it's mental health, whether it's veterans. Instead, it's going to immigrants that, you know, it's tough, dude. It's a tough thing. As a president, I wouldn't be able to figure it out, but I think I would take care of my own first before I start helping other.
How are we giving money to illegal immigrants?
So I mean, they free hotels. You can pick anywhere
To
in the city,
illegal immigrants?
or to asylees, or however
Okay,
you want
so
to.
asylum seekers, that's not an illegal immigrant. That is somebody who has been run out of their home through political violence, through war, through crime, all these things. I wouldn't call these illegal immigrants. What about
Well,
the illegal immigrants?
but okay, can you agree that it can happen to where I can just say, oh, I'm an asylee, and I'm just from Juarez.
That's exactly the problem. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what Langford, the Republicans, and the Democrats tried to fix. Up
Yeah,
until someone wanted to campaign on it. Like, it's
well,
a problem,
but here's the thing.
It's not
So
being
how
fixed
come?
by this guy.
So, but that's what I'm saying. That's what I find. Like, how did he have the power to just shut it down? Like, I don't. You see how that doesn't make sense either. You see what I mean? Because of nobody likes him in Washington. It's hard for me to be like, oh yeah, so he made one phone call and it shut everything down. And
Yeah,
that
because
doesn't
Republican
stop them.
lawmakers are spineless. That's really what it comes down to. They will follow whatever Trump says. They will fall lockstep. They will fall in line. They won't stand up to him. A few of them might. Maybe they will when he tried to appoint the pedophile. Like, that's crazy.
Well, dude,
they denied that, but
well, that's the thing. Okay, we can get into that as well because I think that was BS. But it doesn't stop from, like, why weren't they vetting these people?
vetting who?
The asylees that were coming in.
Because they don't have the money. They don't have the manpower. They don't have the people. They don't have the judges. None of that. That's the problem. That was part of the bill. To appoint more, to appoint a higher budget to be able to pay more judges, pay more prosecutors, pay more public defendants, and actually get through our backlog of asylum seekers. We just can't. They can't right now. Yeah, like that is the biggest strain on our immigration system right now, is the broken asylum process. And just like you said, it's super easy. You could come over from Juarez, get drunk for a day, the cops pick you up, you could say you're seeking asylum. Suddenly I don't know exactly if you're given money or the hotel, I didn't look much into that, but that is a legal process. They are allowed to do that. Should we fix the holes in it? Yeah, but I don't know what Donald Trump's policy is going to be.
But
all that this guy wants to do, his ICE appointee to the new border czar guy, all he wants to do is go after people and deport and throw. Yeah, he said 2 million.
Yeah, well, I think there's like 11 million that are accounted for, right? Because obviously, numbers wise, you can't put a number on it. But and this is where I think is going to be really difficult. And I mean, talk is cheap, right? But I think this is going to be difficult because they're saying, oh, we're going to go after the criminals first. And it's like, well, you can't really track that. There's no way to track, like, you guys getting the criminals first. Like, it sucks, man. It's a shitty situation to be in, especially because we both know that there is people that need the help. We both know that there's people here because their countries are fucked up, you know? And it takes those people that came in here, took advantage, that fucks it up for everyone. So, yeah, it's a shitty situation. I can only hope, right? We can only hope that he fucking figures it out, or one of these motherfuckers figures it out.
Voted the way that we did as a country, yeah.
But do you really think? And be honest with me.
Yeah,
do you really think if Kamala would have won, that she would have fixed it? That she would have been able to come up with a solution?
I think if Kamala won, I think she would have tried to. Republicans have the majority. Could have been fought. Could have been left open to show, look how terrible she is on the border. You know, they love to, what was McConnell's quote about Obama? We're going to make him a one-term president. Like, they play dirty. They punch low. And the Democrat Party wants to always play the high ball, play the high game, not do, until this Hunter Biden pardon, which is the first instance of a Democrat probably kind of doing the same type of thing that people attribute to Trump. 10% of it, or to Trump or his group, And so it just, I think she actually would have given an effort, and I don't know if Trump will. Like this border czar guy, what is his name? Holman? He claims 2+ million. Border Patrol estimates that roughly 1.7 million migrants total have evaded apprehension since 2021. He was saying, 2 million in the last year? I don't know. And
yeah. It's because, you see, that's when it comes to numbers, especially with immigration, I don't think you can be accurate because you don't know. You don't know how many came in. You didn't vet anyone, so you can't.
Well, he said numbers.
No, yeah, I'm saying I'm saying I'm speaking against him in a way. There's no way you can track that. Like, I like that guy, dude. I think he's
The
I
numbers
think he's
are
the right
tracked
guy.
by ICE, but that's just not what the numbers that he put forward.
Well, but that's that's the people that actually went through the port. You know, what about the people that were smuggled in? What about the people that did it? You know, that's what I mean by it can't be super accurate. But okay, moving on, right? Moving on from immigration. I wanna kind of go into the appointees, right? The people that he selected. I know right now you mentioned the child molester over here, which is, I mean, I don't know the full story. I've read both sides of it, the accusers accusing him and the people defending him. I mean, guy's not in jail, but yeah, I'm still
He did step
the
down from
jury's out.
Congress when he found out they were gonna do a fact finding, or what I forget what it's called, fact finding mission. I don't know. That's a video game term, or something. But they were gonna do an inquiry, house inquiry onto him, and he was like, "I'll step down." I mean, that's
Yeah,
gotta
he
be.
backed up. Yeah. And I mean, the reasoning was I don't want to be a distraction, but yeah. But okay, I am gonna go to, I think, my favorite pick. I like the Tulsi pick. This is my favorite pick, and this just because I really do feel like there is something going on with the FBI, with the CIA. Here, well, let me play the video real quick.
Who has Jeffrey Epstein's
Black Book?
Black Book?
FBI.
But who? That is that. I mean, there's.
That's under direct control of the director of the FBI. Just like the manifesto from the Nashville school shooting of the Catholic school.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen that, right? It's not the Nashville police or PD saying we don't want this out. The FBI airmailed into that operation and said this is not getting out. Because they do that because this is another government gangster operation. All these local law enforcement communities get funding from the DOJ and FBI for local programs. And if you don't cooperate, you're not getting your $1 million for this, and you're not getting and that's a lot of money to these local districts. That's how they play the game. That's why you don't have a Black Book. Or the
the Black Book is not just sitting. I mean, that's Hoover power times 10.
And to me, that's a thing I think President Trump should run on. On day one, roll out the Black Book. And not just that. On day one, roll out all of the text message communications we were told were deleted. On day one, play the rest of the video of the pipe bomber. On day, one of the reforms I talk about in government gangsters is you need a central node to be continuously declassifying. There's another thing they do. They overclassify. And I'm telling you, as a former number 2 in the IC, they overclassify 50% of the stuff there to protect the deep state. Oh, no, you can't see that. Nothing to see here. Gina was a master at it, of doing it. And we still haven't seen half of the Russiagate report that we wrote. Still under lock and key. On how the ICA was originally constructed. We put 10,000 man hours against John Brennan's team that did it. And we found out why they came up with their bogus conclusions. But we couldn't sell it to the world because we couldn't talk about it. And the government gangsters came in and buried it. All of these things, there needs to be a continuing central power, whether it's the White House or offsite, that says every request that comes in, just right out the door.
All right, so this is Kash Patel, right? The new FBI director that he's going to appoint. To me, this is the best pick just because this guy has literally climbed the ladder. He was senior congressional investigator. He was an NSA employee. Like, he's been up there, dude. He knows what the hell's going on. What are your thoughts on this, man? And not so much on the pick. I don't know if you know a lot about him, but I just like the transparency. You know what I mean? Where we should know who the hell is on Epstein's list. We should know a lot of this stuff that's going on that we don't. So what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, Trump will never would have run on releasing that list, and never is going to release the list. He will not let Kash Patel release the list, and if he does, there's going to be some redacted lines on it. That's the Epstein list is a crazy thing for this Kash Patel guy to jump into. But yeah, beyond that, I just don't think he's going to. Ooh, sorry about that. I don't think he's going to do too well. And if he does, then we'll be blessed. Like, Trump had a couple appointments in his first term. I forget it, but he appointed the guy to NASA who didn't believe in global warming. And then by the end of Trump's term, the NASA director did believe in global warming and was super gung-ho on science and space. Kind of things like that might kind of work out, but I don't know if Kash Patel has the. You say he worked at the ranks. I think he started as prosecutor in Miami, and then he was, I
Yeah.
think that role that you said he was in for 20 days before Trump left office, right? I think that was it. It was like 20 days like that. So like he worked up the ladder, or did he get pulled up? He was an aide to, who was it? An L name?
Oh,
he was
I
an
don't-
aide to a congressman and then got bumped up by Trump for 20 days. I don't know if that's exactly working up the ladder. I know that he wasn't an FBI agent and wasn't deep in that world, which I don't know. Oh, wait, who was it that said that? Oh, yeah. I got a little quote here for us. I categorically opposed making Patel deputy FBI director. This was Trump's first term is when this was said. Patel, deputy FBI director. I told Mark Meadows it would happen, quote, over my dead body, he wrote. Someone with no background as an agent would never be able to command the respect necessary to run the day-to-day operations of the Bureau. Do you know who said that?
Cool.
Trump's Attorney General,
Trump.
Bill Barr. Yeah. Like, so many Republicans are like, even people who are supposed to be on his side are picking apart these picks and showing. I mean, of course, Democrats are saying that they're horrible. Like, they're going to say that. But when the Republicans start saying, like, hey, this guy, ooh, he's not it, that's when I start to really question.
He's never really been a Republican, though. Like, half of them don't like him. You know what I mean?
But these Republicans are falling lockstep in with Trump. So if they're trying to pick out his picks, you know, they're probably playing their political game there. But
yeah, definitely.
It starts to make you really question it.
But okay, I look at, and I mean we can look at his background, we can look at everything, right? So I look at just interviews like this, and I mean anybody can bullshit anybody, right? But like I said, it goes back to they're fucking master salesmen, you know. But you can kind of pinpoint, and it's on results, I think, right? Like this guy's talking a big game, but we're gonna find out. I mean, we're gonna next. What is it? January 23rd, 26th. When he actually takes office, we're gonna find out once these guys get appointed and they get approved and everything, if they really are gonna do what they say. And if they don't do it, then I'll be the first one to come on here and be like, "Fuck, I fucked up." You know what I mean? But I feel confident about it. I really do. In the sense of, right, like it's situations like this guy, you know, right? I may be wrong into trusting him right now, but I kind of do. I really do feel like he's gonna showcase or show what he's like talking about. You know, and maybe
what do you want him to
it's
do that you'd be happy with?
I think it's just transparency. I think there's a lot going on that they keep from the American people that I think we should know, like the MLK files, right? It's pretty much proven that he was murdered by the government. The Kennedy files, we pretty much can guess he was murdered by the government. Just shit like that.
Yes.
Shit like that.
So guess on anything. I mean, sure, people are thinking one way or another, and do you really think
don't think
they're going to release these old files? Like, you think that's what he's going to do? Because from what I've read, his actual plan is to go in and fire a bunch of agents, cut.
Well, no, he's gonna cut the department, but put him out on the field. Like, I think it's the Hoover. What is it? Oh my God, I can't think of the name. But departments where there's just people just sitting around, pretty much not doing shit. He's gonna put him out on the field. Which, I mean, I agree with that, dude. Why is there thousands of employees focusing on one thing when they should be out fucking fighting crime?
So we have ground level police officers and we have investigators to fight the crime. A lot of what the FBI does is fight white collar crimes, like fraud, like embezzlement, like what the Kushners did and were pardoned for, like what Roger Stone did and was pardoned for. All these white collar crimes, all of these things that they're doing and have been pardoned for last term. This guy wants to not chase any of those down. He has a little black book. You mentioned Epstein's black book. I want to see Kash Patel's black book because he apparently has a book of enemies that includes journalists.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, yeah, it just includes people who talk shit on Trump. Like, that is some of the names he's mentioned that he wants to go after. They didn't do anything wrong. They just were with Trump, and now they're not. And apparently he wants to investigate them, take them into a court. You can ruin someone's life with a court battle, even if they've done nothing wrong. If you drag it out, force them to hire a lawyer. And I think that he may be an arm to attack people. I'm scared of that, you know. Not scared, but that's where I think it might be going. He said he wants to, so I kind of have to believe him if he's going to say negative things. You'd expect salesmen to talk positively about themselves, but if he's saying these types of things, that's probably real.
Well, I don't think so, and let me tell you why. Because Trump could have gone after Hillary for the whole email thing. He really could have.
She sat in front of Congress for how many hours?
Yeah, no, but
how many
hours?
Long, like 2 weeks straight, right?
Yeah, no, but I think if he really, really wanted to get her, they would have gotten her. And they
tried. They fully investigated. They looked through everything.
No, dude, we both know that she fucked up. She fucked up.
She spent 11 hours straight being grilled by the Benghazi committee and still walked out of there.
All right, we're gonna agree to disagree on that one. But I think it's gonna be in the same area, you know, and they might go after these people talking shit about Trump, and we'll find out, because if you go after somebody, dude, there has to be some reasoning to go after them, right? Like, they went after Trump for whatever reasons they had. They didn't get him. They didn't. Whatever it was, Trump had a better lawyer, or we don't know. They didn't.
No, they did get him on a lot. 34 counts, I would say. 34-time felon, right?
Yeah, but it was what's the
or his defense.
His what?
Or his defense. What was his defense for? It was either the Florida case or the Georgia case, where basically his defense was, I need complete immunity. He ran to the Supreme Court, and he said, I need complete immunity, and he got it. Why? Why does the president need complete? Why is he above the law?
Well, it's the same reason Hunter Biden just got away.
Okay. But that's within the law. A presidential pardon is inside of the law and the structure of our government. Why did it need to be changed by the Supreme Court to put the president above the law when he's never been before? Nixon didn't need it. Watergate, he didn't do that. None of that. Mm-hmm. Why now? Why can Trump get away with that? And people are just like, I trust him. Like, he actually tried to overthrow the election. And then he loves to say that the Democrats tried to, but we had a video of an entire day of Trump trying to.
Okay, so let's talk about that. I want to get into that, because a lot of the video, and talk, I have to, and maybe after the interview, I'll send you the clips, right? And this is what the media, this is what they were accused of, because they would cut off certain parts of it and then they would play it in the media. So there's videos, the Trump speech where apparently he incited the riot, right? Yeah. In the whole speech, if you hear the whole speech, he never incited the riot. Okay, what part did he say, yeah, go out there and fucking kill people? He doesn't.
He spent 2 hours riling these people up. 2 hours saying, we're going to go down there and we're going to fight. He said fight. Did say fight.
No.
I got the transcript. He said we are going to fight for our freedom. Even then, we can skip the day. He did send the mob of people down there. And I'm sure that you're going to love to say peacefully. He did say peacefully once in the 2 hours. But he spent 2 hours hyping people up that we are going to go down there and we were you know what? Trump.
No, look, I'm gonna find the video. I have to find the video.
We're gonna pull up the transcript so we can hit Control F, baby. Fight 23 times. We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not gonna have a country anymore. Yeah, like he said all of this. He incited the entire thing, but that's not even the important part. The important part's before, like with Roger Stone and Paul Manafort and all that, and the actual plan to try and do the elector scheme and all of that. And how Mike Pence failed them, all of this to try and go against the Electoral College Act, ECA. Like this is insanity.
Yeah, dude. No, like it's because I go based on I know what you're talking about because I've seen the video that was cut off to make it seem like he was saying that, but he didn't.
No, I watched the entire speech. I've gone through it. I've got the transcript right here. He incited that. Like, he sent these people down there, and then he sat there and he watched drinking Diet Coke for 3 hours. And then he tweeted after Ashley Babbitt got shot. The whole timeline's out there. People have written the whole thing down.
Hold on, give me a
This
sec,
was
bro.
organized.
Because
Because Proud Boys started the first infiltration. Like, ooh. Like, it's clear. I wish that we were able to talk before the election. It would have been a little bit spicier. This is a fun one. It's a nice conversation. I love this. But if we talked before the election, it probably would have been spicier for sure.
Hold on. Give me a sec, bro. I have to show you this because this video actually changed a lot of how I thought about Trump and the way that I noticed that the media was trying to portray him as. So it kind of I don't want to say it swayed me, but it did play a role in me voting for him.
Yeah, I'd love to see it then, for sure.
Just bear with me, okay? Because me and my cousin, he lives in California. He's a big Democratic Party, like and we have our debates like this, and I sent him that video, and he was just like, "What the hell?" Like, he couldn't believe it either. Like, what the hell? And this, I mean, it could. I don't want to. What I knew, because it could be fake, right? The first thing was like, oh, well, it could be fake. But in reality, bro, this is when they were in court, his lawyers just breaking down everything, bro. Everything. Boom. You guys said he said this. Here's a proof that he didn't.
Okay, so what is this in relation of the speech? Are we still talking on the speech and all that and the actual riot?
Yeah,
we could honestly lay down that riot. That's not even my biggest point. I think the biggest point is the fake electors plot. I think he actually tried to subvert democracy. I think that's why the Republican media, the right-wing media, the MAGA media is pushing this. We're a republic, because he actually put a strain on the democratic process.
So, okay, let's kind of touch on that, because I think, what was it? If we look at the numbers, the amount of people that voted in 2016, 2020, and now 2024, like 2016 and 2024, they're like this, but 2020 is like dramatic change, bro. So I'm not saying it was rigged. I'm not saying there was more, but it is kind of sketchy. I don't know if you've seen that graph before.
I have.
If not, I can kind of pull it up.
A major world event changing how people felt about everything. Everybody felt horrible about stuff. It's kind of a big changing moment, I would say.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, because COVID did play. I mean, more people were voted. I mean, more people were at home. Yeah, it makes sense.
There's a lot of people who. Election Day should be a national holiday. I think we can both agree on that much.
Yeah.
But
yes.
I feel like that helped a lot. People not working, able to go out there, and everybody saw everything go down with all. Yeah. So.
No, and I actually got into I got into a little debate on Facebook, and it was because in El Paso, I don't know if this happened around the nation, right? But in El Paso, I think they closed the schools for Election Day, and I've since I've been in school, I don't remember them ever closing the school. So I was like, what the hell? Like, why are they
Election
doing
Day
this?
or the day before or after? Was it actual Election Day?
Yeah, Election Day.
That's cool.
And well, I mean, it was cool, but I was just like, why? Why just school? Like, if you're gonna do that, give everybody the fucking day off. You know what I mean? Like, make it a holiday. So
probably the school board makes that choice, and then making a holiday is, I don't even know who makes those. Santa.
Who would make that choice? Yeah. Well, look, I can't find the video, dude. I will though, because I texted to my cousin. So since I have your phone number now, I'll text it to you, and then we can kind of talk about it then. Cool. But I'm gonna jump on just to. I think we have like 2 more videos here. I just want to get your thought process, and this is good, bro. This is good because
the fake electors plot was kind of a big thing that I feel like we glossed over. I know that I said that we didn't care much about the riot and Trump inciting it and finding that video. We can talk about that later, but I still think the fake electors is insane, especially if you say that you voted for him after that. Like, are you? Are you informed on that?
No. So the video that I saw breaks down how the media manipulated him saying to go attack the Capitol, right? So and it's clear, dude. I mean, his lawyers like breaking it down in court in front of everybody, and it's like, oh shit, what the. So to me, what drove me was like, dude, okay, the media is definitely against this guy. Like they are trying to like suppress everything they can on him.
Rightfully
And
so
then
at a point.
So okay, you would think that, right? But then I'm like, okay, the quote. I don't know who says this, but whoever controls the media controls whoever controls the media controls the mind, right? And it's like, okay, why are they all saying this except Fox News, right? So it starts little gerbil
Because
inside.
Fox News was
starts running around.
purposefully lying.
Well, yeah,
Because Fox
but
News
obviously
actually lied to people.
But
and got
so has
caught.
CNN.
Huh?
So has CNN. So
Okay.
has
Yeah, but CNN hasn't paid out the largest defamation settlement in history. Fox News did. Over
but look,
Trump's election garbage.
MSNBC is about to be bought off by Elon Musk.
Yeah, they're about to be bought out. That's totally different than being.
Well, I mean, they're
for lying.
But what I mean by that is, like, if they were credible in any way, they would not be in a position to be bought off.
No, credible news is completely being like washed away by things that make people feel good now. We talked about this, like, or bad. News has kind of gotten the whole like things to make people feel bad, I feel like, as well.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Well, that's been the news for for forever. They try to make you feel a certain way. But okay, what swayed me to that was that like there's a reason. I don't know. I'm more against the media than anything, bro. You know what I mean? Because I know that corporations own the media, and if the corporation tells you, hey, to say what you're gonna say what we're telling you to say, there's a reason for that. Whether it's rightfully so, whether it's for whatever reason it is, it's not really them telling us what they really think. And then that just solidified it for me. The breakdown of them manipulating that video to tell us
it wasn't
that
manipulated at all. I know. I watched the whole speech the day of, and I've watched it, I think, like 1 or 2 months ago, going over January 6th.
I wish I could find it. And when
I
send it to
I have the entire speech, actually. I take it back. It was actually an hour 20. And in the transcript, fight comes up 23 times. They're not going to take it any longer. Go ahead. Turn your cameras, please. Would you show blah, blah, blah. He hates the media just as much. It is actually super scary when politicians are hating on the media. I can understand people not trusting it, but a politician actually saying that they want to attack the media, take the media down, that's sketchy. Who else did that?
All right. So, I mean, another big controversy, right, is the whole tariffs thing. So, we'll get into that. Let me play this video first, just so our listeners can have an idea of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Tariffs are an amazing tool by the president to use. They're an amazing tool, but he understands, don't tariff stuff we don't make, right? If we don't make it and you want to buy it, I don't want to put the price up there. It's pointless, but use tariffs to build in America. If we want to make it in America, tariff it, or if we're competing with it, tariff it. But you got to remember, we need to protect the American worker. Finally, someone's going to protect the American worker, and Donald Trump is here to protect the American worker.
We make a lot of money in tariffs, or if they're used as negotiating tactics. Look, tariffs will come down there. We're not going to have super high tariffs here either. There's not going to be a big pot of money at the end.
I love that story. So which is it? Do we make a lot of money on tariffs, or we bring productivity here and we drive up our workers here? So it's a win-win scenario. I like both of them. I think what's going to happen is we'll make a bunch of money on the tariffs, but mostly everybody else is going to negotiate with us, and we will be more fair. In 1948, right, we came up with something called the Marshall Plan, right? The world, Germany and Japan were destroyed after World War II, and we wanted to export our economy to them. So we made a rule. They could tariff us, and we won't tariff them. So they can
This is the
rebuild.
best explanation I've heard of.
So they can rebuild their economy. We rebuilt their economy using something called the Marshall Plan. Our economy is so awesome that we'll use it to help you rebuild. When should that have ended? What do you think, 1980? Right? 1985? I mean, why 40 years are Japan and Germany and all of Europe still tariffing the heck out of our auto industry, tariffing the heck out of our furniture industry? Do you realize all your furniture you're buying that's made foreign? It seems crazy. Why? It's because they tariff us and we don't tariff them.
Thoughts on this? There's a lot of ways you can look at tariffs, I think, where a lot of people explain it differently. What are your thoughts on it? Do you think it'll help? Do you think it's gonna fuck it up? Like people are saying our prices are gonna go up. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think probably everything that guy said in that video is pretty bullshit. He said it was going to be a win-win. It's absolutely not. No shot. It's a win-win. A tariff is a tax, man. Like, that's all it is. Like, it's a tax. And who pays taxes? The end user, the people. Corporations pay taxes? No, they pass that on by raising their prices. We're going to end up paying those taxes. That's my short of it.
To my understanding, right, there's two different ways. So the way that they're saying it's planned, and I don't know what the actual plan is. I haven't read the actual plan on how he plans to use tariffs. But the way that I see it helping would be something like that, to where the companies that are already tariffing us, and we're not using tariffs against them right now, so they're pretty much taking advantage of the situation. Like Ford, like our cars are not being sold in Europe. You know what I mean? Because they have a 200%.
Our cars barely sell here,
tariff.
man. Everybody wants to get a Japanese car anyways because we don't make that good of cars.
Yeah, well, I mean that's definitely true. I have a GMC and I love it.
Yeah.
So I mean I mean Tesla's the big one in, right? And
how many of those have caught fire? What is it? 200 something deaths in the Cybertruck so far or something? Do you imagine that was in a Honda?
Like I'm not a fan, right? I'm not a fan of Tesla. I mean they're cool. They're cool, yes. Would I buy one? Probably not.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's like that's what I mean by it helping us in a way of just making it an even field.
I think we're playing on the best field that we could be. America is the #1 economy in the world for a reason. Like there are certain uneven tariffs around the world, but they don't affect anything to the level that guy was saying. He was saying it's a win-win. It absolutely will not be. China's going to tariff us right back, as evidenced by yesterday. China bans rare earth mineral exports to the U.S. in preparation of Trump tariffs. They'll just stop trading with us. We just lose trade partners now. He wants to tariff Mexico 20%, our second biggest trading partner. Wants to tariff Canada 20%, our third, or Canada's second, Mexico's third. China #1.
But it's because the thing is that they tariff us to sell our products over there. So I see it as like, if you're gonna tariff us, then we gotta tariff you. Like
they
Toyota.
Don't tariff us to that extent. Not like that. Not a 20% blanket tariff, which is Trump's plan. 20% blanket tax on everything, and that's the materials that would go into the thing that we want to purchase. That's his plan.
So okay, with that I agree. It can't be everything. It can't. It has to be certain things. Like Toyota, right? It's a Japanese. It's a Japanese brand. So when we can't sell our shit over there, but they come here, and how do they beat the tariff? They beat it because the Toyota trucks are actually built here in America. So that's how you beat tariff.
We want that. That's not beating tariffs. That is, we want that.
Yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. That's how they beat the tariffs here. They manufacture it here, which is what we want. So if you tariff, then they have no other choice but to come here and build here.
Or
so in that aspect, but they're already tariffing us. Not to that extent.
Exactly. And a 20% tariff on everything and to every country. He wants to leave our trade unions, wants to trade less with Mexico. Like, we can't make everything here. We cannot do it. We don't have the people.
No, yeah.
So we have to do the end value.
And then we don't have, and then people don't want those kind of jobs here. So I mean, it's a way to create jobs, but
it'll reduce them.
Well, it depends, right? Depends on depends on what your tariff. Like you said, it
Yeah.
can't be on everything. It can't
So we
be
have
on
to go off
everything.
of what he said he was going to do, which is a 20% flat tariff on everything, which is going to cause trade wars, which is going to be very difficult for us to dig ourselves out of. Because once you tariff someone, they're going to tariff you back. And we can get another president, or Trump can say, hey, this was a bad idea. But we don't know if China's going to remove their tariffs on us like that. If we get into this whole back and forth deal with them, we don't want to get in a spat with our biggest trade partners. They're not taking advantage of us. Everybody's winning. We're the number one economy, the number one military. I think it's probably a good thing, this global trade. Globalism has not really seemed to be a big issue like that. I don't know why he wants to fight with our friends.
Well, it's because here's the thing, dude, and this is where I kind of see it play out, right? Because Mexico themselves, big ally of ours, right, has been getting closer and closer to China. Okay, the whole fentanyl thing.
They
the
were offered to
whole-
join BRICS, and they said no.
Yeah,
They're with us. Mexico's pretty ride or die so far. Maybe not if we put all the illegal or asylum seekers in Mexico forcefully,
Mhm.
or try and make Mexico pay for the border wall, but they're pretty rock solid with us in general.
They have been, and you're right. It can flip at any moment, especially because, like I said, China's right there knocking on their door. So it's a tricky situation, man. It's
So you think if we
tricky, and-
tariff Mexico 20%, that they'll stick with us and not see China's like offers like, that's seeming a little bit more tempting. China's not tariffing us, but the U.S. is. Maybe we should trade with them. And we got Cuban Missile Crisis 2.0, brother. Like,
I honestly I don't think it'll matter. I don't think if we tariff them, I don't think they're gonna go run to China. I don't think they will.
you think they'll just lay down and take it?
They have no choice. They really have no choice.
They had the choices with China.
But okay, they refused BRICS, right? You know what Trump just told they took what he told Russia, China. If you guys denounce the dollar, if you guys don't trade through the dollar, he's gonna tariff you either way, 20%. So whether they join him or not, that tariff is coming down. And look, time is gonna tell, because we don't know how he's gonna do it. He says it's gonna be 20% on everything. I think somebody will knock sense into him and say, hey, you can't do that.
It
If he
sounds
does,
like everything is just kind of. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No,
I'm just
definitely
saying-
finish your spot or your thought.
I'm just saying I don't see Mexico doing it. If they do it, either way, they're gonna get tariffed. I think everybody, he's gonna tariff everybody, bro. And it could be a bad thing. It can.
It's going.
We're gonna see, because okay, like let's say he does do that. How do you think countries are gonna respond to it? Do you think they're gonna, because they already have tariffs on us.
Maybe
So it's not like
they can have like a 3% tariff, and that's what these guys will say. They're tariffing us, and they have a 3% tariff on imports from the U.S. Sure, we can take that. We can handle that. There's a lot of these trade deals and tariffs and things that are tactical as well. Like there is a reason for doing them, and just a general blanket is not it. A tariff is going to hurt people's pockets. If we tariff Mexico, I think.
Let me actually.
But yeah,
I've never looked at it, so let me actually check.
Yeah.
I want to see what they're tariffing us right now, China themselves, because I'm super curious now that we're talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm doing the same. That sounds cool.
All right. Tax Foundation. I don't know how reliable this is. But we're looking at. All right, so Trump promises 25% on all imports, Canada and Mexico, 10% on China when he takes off.
Threatens 100% tariff on BRICS nations.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah.
100% tariff on BRICS nations and 20% flat on all others. Yeah, man, that's just gonna make everything so expensive.
But in a way, think about it, because if BRICS takes over, bro, we're fucked. So yes, it sucks, but I think you do have to make that move, because if everybody switches to BRICS, then
we have a
really
free trade
fucked.
agreement with Japan, except for certain rare earth minerals. facilitating
Yeah, well,
critical minerals. So they don't tariff our cars at all. Or did I misinterpret something?
No, yeah, that's what that guy was saying, is that since World War II, we helped to build their economy. There hasn't been no tariffs, but he's saying, hey, it's time to start. You know, they come here and they sell all of their shit. It's time to start putting tariffs on them. Whether that's smart or not.
Too. I just don't get this whole attacking our trade partners thing. That just seems crazy. Like, it's sure that some countries, it seems, have tariffs on us, but ultimately a 20% tariff over everything is just going to make things so much more expensive. It's going to cause other people to retaliate against us in terms of other trade deals. It'll move people closer to BRICS. I think that's just a poor global policy all around.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. we're gonna find out for sure. All right, brother. Last thing I want to talk about, we're already past the hour mark here, is of course the more controversial picks that he picked, Elon Musk and Mr. Vivek. Let me play the video, and then I want to get your thoughts on this.
Yeah. What this whole idea of this government efficiency agency?
Yeah, I mean, call it whatever you want.
What do you want to call it? What do you call it?
I mean, I think the funniest name is DOGE, the Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency. Yeah, I mean, the idea is pretty simple. Is that, like, we've got this suffocating massive federal bureaucracy, and we need to and the government spending is like bankrupting the country. Our interest payments on the national debt now exceed the Defense Department budget. So, which is the Defense Department budget is like $1 trillion a year. Interest payments on the national debt are now higher than the Defense Department budget, and growing like every month. So it's not like basically we're on a path to bankruptcy. America's on a path to bankruptcy. So we have to cut government spending, or we're just going to go bankrupt, just like a person would if that overspends. But it's even worse than that. Like we're spending money on all these these government agencies, and I actually asked the AI like how many government agencies are there, and the government isn't even sure how many government agencies there are. So it's like somewhere around 450.
Okay, first of all, what are your thoughts on Elon Musk?
I think he's probably the best marketer in the world.
Best marketer. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Because the reason I'm surprised by that is a lot of people would say brilliant mind, smart guy, but marketer. Wow, I've never heard it put that way before.
Yeah, I think he is definitely a very high level of intelligence. I think he's got the mental fortitude of like an 8-year-old, maybe. I think he kind of runs away if anybody kind of talks trash to him. He definitely can't handle any criticism. I've got my things against him, but I think in terms of getting eyeballs on himself, #1 person in the world at doing it, I would say.
Gotcha. To me, look, I see it. Because everybody, okay, take it back before he started going with Trump, right? Or before he started being seen with Trump and everything. Everybody liked him, dude. Everybody was like for him. Everybody was like, yeah, Elon Musk is badass, And then he started getting political, like Trump. Because remember Trump? Everybody loved Trump, dude. Before he started getting political. Everybody, there was not one bad thing said about Trump. You saw him on TV a lot, awards. You saw him everywhere. Once they start getting political, they start getting trashed and whatever. Why do you think that happens? Do you think and this is what I mean by the media. I feel like once you stand on somebody's side, it's like, okay, let's attack them. Let's put them down before they get bigger. Do you think that's a thing, or do you think I'm crazy for thinking that?
I think that the media definitely attacks people if they don't like them, both sides, left or right. That's kind of like part of what they do, discover things about people. I can tell you about myself with Musk, when he was talking about space travel. I don't know anything about space travel. So I trusted that, yeah, he sounds pretty smart with what he's talking about. People say he's smart. And then he started doing stuff with the cars, the Tesla. I don't know anything about electric cars, but he seems to be doing well. So, yeah, it seems pretty good on that, pretty smart. Then when he bought Twitter, he started talking about coding. And I know that. And a lot of what he says does not make sense anymore in terms of that. So I've had to go back and think about my other thoughts on what he's been saying. And it turns out it seems that he knows enough about these things to really kind of just put himself in a good spot, which is, I mean, arguably that's all you need to be able to do if your parents own an emerald mine in South Africa. Like, you can be set if you're just in the right place, right time, have the charisma, have the brain to handle it, you know? But when he started talking about programming and buying Twitter, that's when I started to realize, like, oh, he may not be as smart as people think he is. And then came this might have actually been before, but I think it wasn't the media turned on him. I get that they do that. The media will hate on people, but I think with Trump, or with Musk, sorry, it was more of I think people turned on him a lot when the Thailand cave, the soccer team, you remember that? He wanted to do some plan with a submarine thingy that he built. You remember this, or am I?
No, yeah, I don't remember that.
I don't remember the year. I remember where I was working at the time, but it was a soccer team in Thailand or Vietnam. They got stuck in a cave. Basically, the rainy season came weeks or months earlier than it was supposed to. The cave flooded up. They're stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they were like prepping some like Thailand Special Forces divers, and Trump, or I've been talking about him way too much, man. Musk tweets that he has this submarine idea, and they were like, we appreciate it, but this won't work because the cave has like turns, and his submarine thing was like a cylinder, and so that it just wouldn't get to them. It wouldn't work. And so he called the guy on Twitter publicly leading the rescue a pedophile. Just never met the guy, a guy in Vietnam. He called him a pedophile for some reason. So that was a lot of people's first like
what?
Wait, what? Why would he react like that? They just didn't want to use your submarine, bro. So that's when you start to that's when I started to realize, like, oh, he might be a little bit like childish. And then every single thing you're not going to sell electric cars to people on the right that often. It's an interesting choice of going to that, and I think it's truly because he got yelled at or maybe bullied out of the left by Democrats and the media, which I think is probably the biggest problem, is this like that woke scolding, that like super progressive people that is a problem with the Democrat Party, which is why I think a lot of people ran to Trump. Do I think that Trump is the solution to that? No. Do I think that he'll be better for the country? No. Do I understand why people voted for him? A little bit. Do I agree with it? No. I think it's mostly people buy into the things that he said, not the things that he's done. And then they just felt bad when the election came around. People didn't have money in their wallet. Inflation's hitting us because that is absolutely Biden's fault, or inflation hit every single country ever. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
Every single incumbent lost across the globe. Every incumbent lost.
And you made a good point, bro. You made a good point in the sense of, I don't think it was much of a Trump victory. I think it was just the left was just going in a direction that most of us don't want to go to. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think that's what it was. If I'm speaking just like, if I can narrow it down to one thing, dude, I can honestly say that. There was just certain things that I was like, bro, no, I cannot support that. I cannot support that. And yeah, Trump is not the best solution. He's not, dude. But to me, it was like, I felt really strong about, like, I have kids, man, so I felt really strong about men in girls' restrooms,
Why?
Because, dude, it's, I mean.
You think that's really a thing that, like, is worth worrying about every day?
It is.
Why?
It is when you have a kid, especially as a man, when you have a daughter, dude. It's just. I mean, I don't know if you have kids.
I can understand that it's a worry. I can understand it can be a thing that you think about, but do you think that it's a thing that like you need to make your political decisions off of and all of that? Do you really think that Democrats are supporting, like, first of all, the amount of trans people in the country is, what do you think the percentage of trans people in the country is?
No. And look, trans is totally different to this because, and this sucks to that community, bro.
Stems from though.
Yeah. But is that the
That's
same thing? Because a lot of them have their own shit going on, and they're just trying to live peacefully. But
that
then
is
there's
it. That is all of them.
well,
Oh,
no,
well,
because
all
there's
is a lot. Yeah, I'm sure that there's people faking it, or they
yeah,
just want to act like that. But if somebody's going to do that to commit a crime or do something terrible, do you really
but
think
that's
that they're going to not? If they're
and look, you can call it fear mongering, you can call it whatever,
what it is.
but I've seen a shitload of videos where it like moms, dads catch men in girls' restroom,
Men,
and the little
yeah,
girl,
they don't have to dress
yeah,
up or anything. They don't have to transition. They
yeah,
don't have to take hormones. Men can just go in there. Like,
exactly, and that was something I disagreed on, dude. True, like, fuck no, because I'm not with my daughter at school, dude. So, what if a teacher goes in there? I can't protect her from that. So if it's legal, if it's okay, I have no way but to pull her from school, and maybe I should, maybe homeschooling would be the better option, but right now is not an option for me. So if that's being threatened, of course I'm not gonna vote that way.
I just don't think it
What?
actually is. I don't think it's. I don't
Well, it's
think
because
fake
it's
trans people
important.
trying to walk into a bathroom is really like a prominent issue. You see these videos like what I talked about earlier. The media is also social
Yeah,
media, and that engine, those
that
algorithms, they want to show you these things that will upset you. What will upset people
it,
the most? Their children or friends.
it,
That's it.
and
Like that's what's
maybe
going on. You know?
maybe it did, dude. But when I say that, can you understand that that's important to me, and that's why I voted that?
Absolutely, and
You know,
that's why they're pushing that. They're hitting the emotional. It's all the feelings and that,
of
and it's
course,
the marketing. Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think that the Democrats support that type of. Well, yeah, like
Well, I don't want to say Democrats, but Kamala did for sure.
what did she
She was for
support?
she was for trans people, for children to change sex in whenever they wanted without their parent approval. She was for inmates
I don't think so.
getting sex changes in jail using taxpayer money to do so. She was
What she
for
said was
immigrants.
inmates should be able to have any medical services deemed necessary by the state. She did say that if the transitioning surgery was deemed necessary by the state or the medical examiner or whatever because of mental issues or mental health or whatever you want to call it, she said that they should do that. But just letting people have it whenever they want, that's not what she said.
But even that, dude, I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that. If
If
you're in
somebody is a
jail,
danger to other people in jail, like there are some things, and there's like not even this, they wouldn't even do the surgery. It was they were talking about giving people who were already on hormone medication to just keep it going, which if you
well,
take them
yeah,
off their
but
hormones, it's going to make people a little bit more insane as well. And they probably put them on a lot more blockers as well to stop some other stuff. Like there's a lot
it's
more to it than just these
jail.
clips. People want you to just see one clip, and like you said to me, like, hey man, I can show you the whole video of this other thing. There's a whole
Yeah.
video to these other things too. And it's what makes me feel good or what makes me feel bad. I'm going to watch just the clip of what makes me feel how I want. And then if things don't, then I'm going to go watch the whole video. Like I agree. I would not want that to happen to my daughter or anything like that or anything terrible, but I just don't think it's that big of an issue. I think that it's being
And
pushed on social media a ton.
It is, and I mean I believe it's rightfully so, dude. Because even one case where a girl gets raped in the bathroom is enough for me to be like, nah, that's not cool. Another thing is girls or men in girl sports, dude. I'm a big sports person, man, and the Olympics, the boxing, the guy beating the shit out of those women, like, dude, that was
What do you
horrible.
mean?
There's in the Olympics in boxing, the person who won was a dude.
No,
Was a
she
guy.
was not. Iman Khalif?
Yes,
Nope.
yes. What? Oh, or I don't know if she's the one who won, but she participated in it.
Nope. Iman Khalif, the champion, who everybody said was trans. Elon Musk said that she was a man. Those whole thing. Yeah, no, she is not. That was
She
actually
wasn't a
funny
man.
enough. No, that is a woman, and you can ask Matt Walsh, what is a woman? That is a woman.
Now, I mean,
It's been proven. Who said that?
okay,
So
okay. If that's
not
that's
proven.
proven, there's
It's
been
not
a
proven.
bunch
That's
of
a
other.
little.
it's there's been a lot more cases during college sports where it's been a factor.
Okay, but the
So I
Olympics.
mean,
This was not. This is fake news. You actually ate into fake news, brother. Like,
okay,
shit.
I mean, to my understanding, that's what it was, and it
Yeah, I
could be
know.
if it was fake news, and I fell into it because I mean, to me, it looked like a man. He fought like a man, and even the women were like, "We've never been hit like that." But if you're telling me I'm wrong, it's possible that I'm wrong. But there's been a lot of other cases in college basketball, college volleyball, college swimming, where
Yeah, we
that's
can
not
pull
the case.
any of these cases up, and I would be super willing to talk down them with you, because I
Right,
know
right.
the Iman Khalif stuff. She actually did a. Well, first off, you know how that all went down, that misinformation of her being deemed as a man, right?
Well,
It was
I mean, I didn't even know she was. I didn't even know she was a woman. I thought she was a man.
So that was a discredited Russian Boxing Federation. It's kind of funny how these issues kind of do loop back there, but the federation was discredited. The Olympic Committee said that, hey, you don't follow all the best practices to actually be a federation that is sending people to the Olympics, yada yada yada. They wouldn't release anything on. They refused to do a hormone test or anything like that. She went out, and after Elon Musk called her horrible things on Twitter, the richest man in the world attacking this poor girl from Algeria. Oh, yeah, Algeria. She's from Algeria, man. Do you think that a country who doesn't recognize the existence of gay people and being transgender is punishable by death would send a transgender person to the Olympics? Like,
No, yeah, like I
that's
said, bro.
wild, man.
Like I said, if I made the mistake of saying that, I mean, that's just based on what I, what
Yeah,
I saw.
and
what-
that's like what I'm saying. I'm not
it-
like attacking you for it. Like you
Uh-huh.
got fed the stuff, and people lied to you, and then you say the same thing because like that's what you heard, that's what you know, and then it spreads
Yeah.
more and more, and that's how this whole misinformation thing works. You know?
All right, so check this out. This is other cases. So I mean, it's kind of a long video, but
Yeah.
so and this is just some, right? This is just some. I've seen a lot in college where, I mean, these girls have trained their whole life, dude, to be in that position, and then it shit like that, and it may not be a big deal, it may not be, but to me, it's just wrong. There's not and it just has nothing to do against the trans community. Like, if you're trans, do what you got to do. It's just I don't know. I don't agree with it. When it comes to sports, bathrooms, stuff like that, I just don't agree with it. I can't back it up. I can't.
I don't know. I had a girl on my wrestling team. She kicks people's ass. She beat dudes.
Well, but that's weight class. So if it was based on weight class, I think
So that's what
fair.
the NCAA and the Olympic Committee are both now doing. They've kind of had to figure it out. It's a new thing coming at them. They have to figure out these policies and these rules. And the NCAA and the Olympic Committee are both together in saying that it's a sport by sport basis. They're not going
Yeah.
to force people to separate non-contact sports, but then there is reasons where they should. So I think just people are figuring this out. It's a new thing that's hitting the world. People are uncomfortable. They don't know how to react, and they're thinking, this guy's going to put on a dress and try and go in the bathroom with my daughter. They're not. They want to go to the bathroom. Every women's bathroom is all stalls. They want to go in their own stall, sit down, take a piss or shit. People want to play sports that they're good at. They want to play sports. I think up through high school, it should be probably fine. If someone, I'm sure that there's probably levels to it. Like, someone in high school isn't going to go through crazy amounts of these numbers are so low, it's crazy. If somebody is truly transitioning and all of that, they probably don't even want to play sports. If somebody just says, I'm a woman, and then, if I said I'm a girl and I go compete in something, yeah, that's bullshit. That shouldn't happen. But I think if somebody truly is going through a transition, their doctor approves of it, their parents approve of it, there's a whole, thing, and it's that's actually what they're doing, but they also want to play girls lacrosse or something, yeah, up through high school, they probably should be fine to do that, because high school sports are just about teamwork, community, working together, meeting other people, talking to people from different backgrounds. Like that's the true value of high school sports. Sure, there's the 0.5% of kids who are going to go to the pros, college, but it's really about people meeting people and like understanding each other a bit better. That's like team sports are for. So
But you see, in a sense of like when it comes to a power sport, you know, where a man definitely overpowers a woman, and not in every case because there is women that can overpower men, but in certain situations, yeah, dude, it shouldn't be allowed. I don't think it, you know, but if you're gonna base it off weight classes, I think that, okay, but you see, present that. Like, if Kamala would have been like, okay, I know this is a problem to half of the country. This is my solution for it. You know what I mean? But she didn't do that, dude. You know, she didn't. And that's why I couldn't get behind her. I couldn't.
So Trump doesn't have to say his solution for anything, though. Why are we held to like such a double standard?
No. Well, in Trump's was like, I'm not gonna allow it. I'm just not gonna allow it
for anything. So Kamala didn't reference it because she didn't like it wasn't brought up as a thing to her in that sense. Like people are saying Kamala had no policies. Kamala didn't say this, but like none of these clips are making it to people.
You know what? You know what kind of like got to me too, and I had a talk with one of my buddies, and the whole accent thing, dude. Okay, it's not a big deal, but I thought it was just hilarious that I was like, what? I had never seen somebody do that. I had a friend explain to me like that it's a empathy thing, right? That you talk to somebody like that because you want to empathize with them, you want to relate to them more. And okay, all right, I understood it, but
you lost me. What accent are you talking about? Like what?
Well, that she would change her accent every time she talked to a certain group of people. You know, she would be talking to Mexicans
or
Spanish
switched
people.
Before?
I haven't. No.
You never?
Maybe when I was younger, you know, like my whole hip hop era. But other than that, nah, dude. I haven't. And that's what I'm saying. It wasn't a big deal. I just hadn't really witnessed anybody ever do that, especially a presidential candidate. So that was like, what the fuck is going on, you know? So look, maybe it could have been that she was different. Maybe it could have been, I don't know. It never felt right. You know what I mean? I think honestly, if they would have kept Biden, I think they would have had a better chance. But they took him out. And dude, I'll tell you, I was always a Bernie Sanders guy back in the day, and that didn't happen.
How do you go from Bernie to Trump, dude? We gotta dive into that.
Well, different times, right? Different times. But that's when I knew something was up with the Democratic Party, dude. When because Bernie should have won that time, and they stole that. They stole that from.
He didn't. I was a Bernie bro. I was in school at the time, like that high school idealists, like, or maybe college era. I don't know. That idealist, like, oh, Bernie's gonna fix it, and then you look at the numbers. He wouldn't have actually won. Like he was not a good candidate to put up. He was too extreme, a little too radical. It just wouldn't have happened. They actually did make the right choice there, and I disagreed with it at the time, but I had to come around on that one.
But I think he would have beat Trump though. Because Hillary didn't stand a chance with Trump, dude. I mean, well, she did with the people. But, I mean, she lost the electoral college, right? But she did win the popular vote. But I think Bernie would have, because I think Bernie would have beat him. I would have voted Bernie, to be honest with you. That election, I'll be honest with you, I voted Trump because I felt like Bernie was robbed. Like, it wasn't so much that I didn't like Hillary. I was just like, fuck these guys. They don't want to pick who I want. I'm going to go with this guy.
You're not the only one. There's a lot of people like that.
Yeah, and yeah, dude. So, I don't know, man. Look, we can keep going all fucking night. We're almost at the 2-hour mark. Dude, I want to thank you for coming on. It's not normal for two different minds to come together like this and actually have a good conversation. I appreciate you. Be respectful and everything, and we got to do it again, you know? We'll do it again in 6 months. We'll do
we'll pick up a faster cadence. We'll pick up a faster cadence. Yeah, if you ever want to argue with a liberal about something, I'm there, man. If you want to say, hey, why are the Democrats doing this? We can argue.
Yeah, dude. And if I can help you out, dude, support you in any way with your new venture here, let me know, man. I've been doing this for I've been doing this for almost a year. I have this
Cool.
podcast, and I have another podcast with two of my buddies, which is that one, and we just kind of fuck around, talk shit and whatever. But yeah, man, if I can help, let me know. Hopefully, this kind of helps you get out there, and I hope you had fun today, man.
Yeah, same to you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you.